Welcome to Custom Homebuilders Solutions, a web-based software, also known as CHS, a standalone accounting suite focused on job costing and profit management for professional home builders.
Hello everybody, I'm the developer of CHS and my name is Carol King. Recently I was watching a webinar titled Secrets of Profitable Home Builders by SMA Consulting, and that speaker, Bob Whitten, said that your key financial report is a gross profit report. And you know, as soon as he said that, I realized that having the tools to monitor where your gross profit is heading every day, well, that's CHS's whole reason for being. In fact, that's really why there is a $sign in the CHS logo. So you know how you're often advised to sum up your product in just one sentence and you wonder to yourself, oh, I have so much in my product, how can I possibly do that? But you know what? Thanks to Bob, I found my sentence. And here it is. CHS is all about bringing a home builder's team together to produce your best gross profit results. I know I said one sentence, but I will quickly explain what I mean by your team. I mean that the home builder, you, your back office, and your field all come together and work in the software all in one place. Now don't worry, if you are the builder owner of your business and you feel kind of unsure about what gross profit means, I am going to clear that up for you. At the end of this video, I will give you a link to our very free markup, margin, and gross profit calculator that is also accompanied by a video that will teach you about those terms. That video will explain the difference between a markup and margin percent, which is very confusing to many builders, and what gross profit really means. The calculator will let you enter your own numbers so you can decide what markup percent you should be applying to your job costs in order to cover your business expenses and to also take home the cash that you need for your own lifestyle. You know, if you attend webinars or read blogs by home builder consultants, many of them say that the key to being a professional and profitable builder is to understand what markup, margin, and gross profit really mean. And CHS is all about helping you become that professional and profitable builder. If you are an accountant watching this video, you probably already knew what gross profit means. So really, I was talking to the builder. Since CHS is a very powerful accounting program, it is common for the builder to have the bookkeeper review CHS, which is really important. But I want to take a minute to say how very important it is for the builder or owner to be involved in this review, because I primarily wrote CHS for them. It was a group of builders who asked me to write CHS, and it was those builders and others that I worked with to add in the tools that they themselves needed. Since I worked as a controller in builders' back offices for years, I already knew what the bookkeeper needed, and I could write that without much discussion with them. I spent my time out on sites and in dozens of builder offices working with the builders, and that is who I still visit with the most. And it is the builders who refer other builders to CHS. When you see CHS at home building trade shows, it will generally be builders who are showing other builders how they use CHS. So when I say all of your team members working in one place, I don't mean just the accountant or the bookkeeper. I do mean that really for your best success with CHS, the builder must be willing to participate by putting hands on CHS. And just real quickly here, since I've been talking about various team members being able to get onto CHS to do things, I wanted to reassure you that you can set permission levels for your team players. So for example, if you do have a project manager or somebody out in the field, you can set them to a permission level so that they cannot get into the accounting financial statements, accounting records, payroll, anything like that. You can set them up with this permission level that lets them be working on the job budgets or estimates for a job, on change orders, purchase orders for a job, or just to see job costs that have been entered that relate to particular jobs they are working on. Like I've said, CHS is a full and complete accounting program. It produces financial statements that will impress any CPA or banker or insurance auditor. And yes, it has accounts payable with check printing features, receivables, general ledgers, trial balances, etc. In other words, it has the powerful features you would expect from any accounting software. But there are major differences between CHS and generic accounting software because it is specifically designed to handle the very unique and complex accounting requirements of custom home builders. And while I think that the bookkeeper accountant is probably your most important team member, I want to emphasize that CHS was first and foremost developed for the builder or owner to put hands on so that that bookkeeper can be freed up by not having to make all of those Excel spreadsheets for you. I'm very familiar with doing that because I did it for years. I will be doing another video that gets into the unique accounting features for home building, but let's take a minute to look at those hands-on features for the builder. Let's just take a little time out to talk about whether you are ready to step up to CHS. First of all, I am a business owner just like you, and I am not a salesperson, which you can probably tell by what I say next. Joe Stoddard, a well-known consultant to home builders who advises builders about purchasing software and whether they are ready to purchase that software, says that the #1 cause of failure with a software is just not being ready. If you set it up too fast and do not have the proper staff dedicated to implementation, you will be doing a lot of rework. And he says software will not do anything for you unless you put it into the right hands, any more than a circular saw will build a house if you don't put that into the hands of a carpenter. I can confidently say that after all these years of working with custom home builders around the clock and talking with many home builder consultants like Joe Stoddard, I have become a specialist in what consultants refer to as best practices for builders. And that's why CHS is designed for a builder that wants to be or is a professional who follows those best practices. So I'm going to be straightforward with you about what you can expect CHS to do for you and what you, the owner, will need to do for your best success with CHS. If you're like me, you work 60 to 70 hours a week and you'd prefer to spend that time pursuing your craft, which in your case is probably managing the building of a high-quality custom home. So from my experience with custom home builders and their very chaotic offices oftentimes, I will tell you that having a smooth flowing system in your office is a best practice, but it requires the participation of you and your team. A system that includes using CHS properly, it will free you up to focus on home building. However, no system will work well unless the business owner first familiarizes themselves with the system and what it has to offer. Any successful system requires that the owner puts hands on and participates in its setup and then makes it very clear what is expected from the team that uses the system. As an example, I am starting out by showing you the window that is for the owner to review where each active job's gross profit and estimated costs are heading today, and even where the cash for each job currently stands. You can drill down on information that will give you the answers about why things are over or under where they should be. If you don't use this window yourself, or you're not aware that it's even here, or your staff isn't even aware that it's here, then you will most likely continue to tie up your accounting team or project manager's time, asking them for all kinds of things that are at your fingertips in CHS every single day with a click of a button. If you ask them for the answers instead, You will slow them down, which also slows you down waiting for their answers. While my degree is in accounting and with honors, getting that degree did not teach me about all of the unique information that home builders would need from their accounting books. I spent several years as the controller in the back office of a successful home builder, and it took me quite a while to understand terms like change orders, allowances, or options. Here's a mouthful that a builder taught me about: estimated costs at completion, job cost variances, which I sort of got the concept of that. Also interim draw requests, liability insurance audits, HUD closing papers, and fixed or cost plus contracts, and the difference between those in accounting, and so much more. I was lucky enough to work with a builder that took time out to explain those terms to me so that I could then apply my accounting knowledge to gathering numbers from the generic accounting software I used at the time, and then re-entering those numbers into a bunch of spreadsheets that I created not only for the builder, but for home buyers, bankers, CPAs, and insurance auditors, etc. And it was all of that double entry into spreadsheets day after day that caused me to start playing with writing an accounting software that would just gather and spit that data out on its own. The goal was to enter data one time and have it show up immediately wherever else it was needed. One of the things that my builder customers tell me all of the time is that CHS is their best kept secret, so they don't want to tell other builders in their town about it, which is a problem for me sometimes. Anyway, but they do attend meetings like Builder 20 Club meetings or custom builder meetings, and they might show some of the reports from CHS to those other builders, and then they tell me all of the time that those other builders are saying, "Where in the world did you get that great report from?" One of the strengths of CHS is the reports that it produces and causes you to not have to do all of those spreadsheets. So let's take a look at the report that's available on that owner review screen that I had a minute ago. You just click a button on the owner review window, open a report that is always up to date with the latest numbers, with nobody doing spreadsheets and trying to grab all the numbers. And CHS steps in and handles all of that for you. So let's just drill down on this report, and I'll try not to take too much time on it, but give you the concept. Remember, one of the terms that I said just a minute ago that I had to learn to understand was what fixed contracts were versus cost plus contracts. And by the way, there's two types at least of cost plus contracts, one that is called cost plus builder fee and another one that's called cost plus markup. So I had to learn that for accounting when I'm figuring out how much is due on a contract. So first of all, the builder has to tell CHS what type of contract it is, and CHS gets very smart about figuring out and helping the builder decide on a price based on a profit margin that they enter and based on the contract type that they say that it is. And it produces revised contract prices as the job goes on based on those contract types. It's very smart about that. For example, the original price of a cost plus builder fee contract is based on the original budget or estimate plus a builder fee. And the revised price is based on what you think your current cost will be at the end of the job as they change, plus a builder fee, plus change order fees. A contract like cost plus markup, its original price is based on your budget or estimate, plus a markup, and the revised price is based on what your current estimated costs at completion are thought to be today, plus a markup. And then a contract type of fixed contract is the builder enters a contract price, which is just based on how much he wants to mark it up, his budget marked up, which CHS will suggest a contract price, which you don't have to use, but you type in. And then the revised price is the original contract price plus change orders, plus maybe allowance over under adjustments that you agreed to on the contract. So CHS is actually very active in monitoring where your estimated costs at completion are heading today. And that mouthful means the cost that you think today will be the total cost of the job by the end of the job. That is affected by entering change orders that might be increasing your estimated costs, or purchase orders that maybe are higher than what you budgeted for, or even lower, or actual costs as you enter them that are going over or under. And we have an estimated cost at completion worksheet that builders use every single day to take a look at where those costs are headed, and I'll be showing you that in future videos. So on this report, CHS has split these jobs into those different contract types. I only have 3 jobs on here of the 3 contract types, but it shows you that original price that was gathered when you did the budget. The owner gets on, tells it what type of contract, uses markup percents, and comes up with prices based on the type of contract. Then it shows the original budgeted costs on this report and shows you what your original estimated profit was at the time that you did the budget or estimate. Then, like I said, CHS is very smart, and it is constantly recalculating what the revised price calculation or estimate is today based on the current estimated costs at completion and what's happening with those. And it comes up with the revised estimated profit today and shows you the variance or difference between those. Now, another thing about CHS is that it knows how much cash you've received and how much you've spent for each job, whether or not you have one checking account or several. So it goes on here to show you what job revenues are received, remaining revenues to received based on that revised contract price minus the ones that have been received. Then it shows you actual job costs that have been paid, and so it can tell you what costs are remaining to pay based on your estimated cost at completion minus those paid costs, and it can figure out how much cash in or out is left. Basically, hopefully more money left to come in through to the end of the job. And not only that, it shows you the cash balance for each job. It shows you how much payables have been entered by the bookkeeper. So you can see your team members are doing various things. The bookkeeper is entering payables that are unpaid that might be selected or approved in CHS, because there's tools for the field to do that and the owner to do that. So the bookkeeper, one of the things you want to tell that team member to do is enter those bills as they come in so we know what's coming in. And then it will show with the cash that's come in and out for each job, less what those unpaid accounts payable that have been entered, how much cash is actually available. So this very top one, you probably need to do a draw request on. What I'd like to emphasize is that involved in all of this, I said terms like change orders. So you have somebody in the field entering change orders for you. I said terms like purchase orders. So the field or your purchasing agent is entering purchase orders. The bookkeeper is entering actual costs. All of that immediately causes the estimated cost at completion to adjust as needed on its own without a bunch of Excel spreadsheets. So I'd like you to just pause a moment and try to imagine someone creating all of the spreadsheets that would be required to get all of the numbers on this report. It would take days, actually, almost, to do that, to get it for all the jobs, to find out what the current estimated costs at completion are, to figure out the total of the change orders, or maybe the total of the purchase orders that are in, and how those are affecting that estimated cost at completion. Then figure out how that price is changing based on the contract type. Then look up how much cash is in for every job and try to figure that all out on some Excel spreadsheets where you're entering money in and money out, and bring all that together to finally produce a report like this. CHS, I will repeat again, does this automatically for you just based on things that your various team members are entering into CHS one time, and it makes it so that this report can be produced for you, the owner, every single day, and that the numbers are real time and coming in without having to be constantly changed to gather all those numbers again or update various Excel spreadsheets. So this is the power of CHS, and once again I'll say it. CHS is all about monitoring where your gross profit is headed every single day. So back on that owner review screen that you open, you can get the report by clicking the button Revenues versus Costs, etc. towards the top right of the report, that report that I just showed you. But I also wanted to point out how you see all kinds of things in blue all over the place and little icons. This little icon right here is a screen that opens that shows you all kinds of reports just for that job, including the contract balance due based on what kind of contract it is, etc. This little magnifying glass will take you to show how you figured out the original price and how that revised price is being calculated. Over here where the cash is, you can click on the blue underline thing to see all of the detail about cash in and out and the deposits, and you can drill down to see which checking accounts or which credit card accounts were used to pay to come up with how much cash is left for the job. Also, you can drill down on what the open accounts payable, unpaid accounts payable are that are here, and it'll be by vendor, trade contractor, and the amounts and the jobs. And you can also down here drill down on a report of your original budget, a report of all change orders and their estimated costs and their prices, a report of all purchase orders for each job, a detailed list of all the actual costs, actual job costs that have been posted for the job. Right here you can open the spectacular estimated cost at completion worksheet to see where that ECC is coming from and to adjust things as needed on it. And over here you can see the overall cash for the company and drill down on various detail, the entire accounts payable, all accounts payable, not just for one job, the entire credit card transactions, etc., that cause your net cash today to be this amount. You can tell that I was trying to make a point to the builder to control your system so that you can make known what you expect from your team players. If you are the bookkeeper or the accountant watching this video, I promise some of the next videos will show you what you will be doing inside CHS. But right now, let's wrap this up and let me go back to our chssoftware.com website that I'm showing here, right up here, and tell you that if you're just so ready to sign up right now, there is a sign up button that will step you through signing up and telling us about your company and setting up your users, etc. If you're on a small device, you might see 3 bars up here that you'll have to click to see this sign up. There's also a link telling you all about what the subscription prices are for CHS and explaining what it will be per user and how much per month it would be for you. So I wanted to let you know about that tool. Remember about the markup versus margin tool and the gross profit tool. Let's talk the gross profit being what CHS is all about. But if you keep sliding down on our website, you will see that it's available here. It says, do you know what markup to use? Click here to try our free tool. And again, remember to watch the video there if you're interested in finding out some good information about what the difference between markup and margin percent and gross profit is all about. Thank you so much for watching this video.